Welcome back, guys. Today on Project Hellstang, we're going to be installing some interior accessories as well as a little bit of engine bay dress up, so stay tuned. Now, tomorrow is the Motor City Foxfest. There should be like, I don't know, thousands of freaking 78 to 2004 Fox chassis vehicles, have to be Ford powered, are all going to assemble in Ford's world headquarters in Dearborn, Michigan. And we're not only going to be taking the Hellstang down there, but the Hellstang is going to be at the Stifflers booth. So if you guys remember, on the Hellstang, we do have Stifflers, tubular transmission mount, and also their drive shaft safety loop. So we're gonna be there, we're gonna be representing the SN95s. But before I take it to this big show, I wanted to do just a couple little like dress up items, a little bit in the interior and the engine bay. So let me show you. Now, long term, my plan for this like radiator support cover is I'm going to actually bend up some aluminum or some stainless steel, and I want to kind of make a custom cover. A lot of the covers that you can already purchase for these cars, it has a hole here for the engine latch, or for the hood latch, but we're not running the hood latch, we're just running hood pins only, and so I want one that's just smooth. So I was going to make it myself, but I don't have time, you know, again, we leave tomorrow. So I wanted to figure out something this week that I could do that would be pretty easy and just make it look a little bit better. And so what I came up with was they sell on Amazon these sheets of like, you know, carbon fiber vinyl, right? And this was like $10 for a 6-inch by 5-foot sheet. Now I need, I think it was 33 inches. I'm gonna basically go from here to here just to cover, this is like where the original plastic cover covered all this crap, and this is where the original like hood latch was. So it just looks bad, right? Like this paint still looks pretty good, same on this side. So I just want to take that carbon kind of from there and just put it down here. We're gonna pull these brackets off, pull that bracket off, and then I don't want to put back these really ugly bolts. So I ended up also buying a stainless steel fastener kit off Amazon, which is this bolt right here with this little blue kind of aluminum deal. So I'm gonna replace, I don't know, there's like 10 bolts, like all these fender bolts I'm gonna replace, and then these 4, this one, and I think even these little grounds here. So that way when you pop the hood, you know, the engine bay just looks a little bit nicer, that's all. So really easy there. Then after we do that, we're gonna move to the interior, and I got a set of just white face gauges. I also got some cool blue, or kind of like a light blue LED bulb replacement, so that way it won't be green anymore, it'll be blue. I got a bullet little ring, trim ring to go around the shifter. And then what else? Oh, and then we just, since we already had to take this thing off, the headlight knob, I got a billet headlight knob. But that hasn't come yet, so I'm not sure if the billet headlight knob or the bullet bezel will be here today, but the gauges I do have, so we can at least get those thrown in. All right, so I've been messing around with this thing for a quick minute. Got my piece kind of all cut and everything. So I got a 5-inch piece that should just wrap, you know, right from the top of here, right to the bottom. And then I was trying to get fancy, and I tried to kind of make these little cutouts so they can cover that too, rather than just having to go straight across, have it stick out. So piece should be good. Now it says in the instructions we need to apply this thing with some heat. So I'm gonna get my heat gun, just real light heat. But it says that once you peel the back off, it's not going to be that sticky, and that's going to allow you to kind of readjust it, move it as you need, and then you kind of add heat just to kind of lock it in place. So we'll see. Never done it before. Hopefully it's cool. And then we're just going to start jamming in. You know, we got to put back in our little hood latch piece. Mine actually broke coming out. So like this little back tab broke off, so that sucks. But I'll see if I can just jam it in there for now. Good enough, and then we'll have to order a replacement. And yeah, get our bolts back in. And then we're done with this, move on to the inside. All right, what did we learn here today? Well, we learned that putting vinyl on is not easy, especially this crap. This is kind of a thicker material. Man, and laying out that long ass piece and having the bend over, we got a lot of wrinkles. We got kind of a lot of a lot of stuff I'm not liking. I'm not sure what the heck all this is here, but so not sure. I mean, I'm definitely not in love with it, but I think it's still probably better than the way it looked before. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all the fasteners back in. At least that'll cover some of this crap for now. And again, this is just temporary, right? Eventually, maybe the next few weeks, I'll get my brake. My dad's got a brake, a metal brake, and we'll get some material. We'll bend this up, and that way we can kind of cover it, you know, all the way through here. Make it look a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner. But yeah, so whatever. Good enough for now. Get the screws back in. I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so we are done with this. So we got all of our little fancy bolts. So probably take some back to black. We'll kind of fix all this up, make it look a little nice before tomorrow. But got all these bolts swapped out as well. So you know, whatever, little $10 trick. So looks a little nicer. All right, cool. I wish this. So I would say for you guys, if you get this carbon fiber vinyl, it might be better to get the matte finish that doesn't have like the shiny clear coat, because then you wouldn't notice as much, you know, how screwed up this is. But like I said, good enough for now until we can figure something else out. I was so sick of seeing that ugly primer spot right in the middle. So at least that kind of darkens it up a little bit. Looks good far away in pictures, right? Moving on to the white face gauges. These are the set that I decided to go with here. So I got these on eBay from whitegauges.net. So they were 28 bucks. So pretty cheap. I've used, you know, I don't know if it was this brand, but they look very similar to this in Mustangs over the last freaking, I don't know, 15 years. And, you know, they always turn out fine. I think this kit comes with like the V8 and the V6 one. So you just go through, you pick which ones you need, just slap them on there. Should be easy peasy. So get this all done. I already had this cluster out a while ago when I was doing some diagnosing work, trying to figure out why my alternator wasn't working. But this is pretty simple. I think we just got, we got to get our tool, remove this. There's like some little hook thing in here. We got to pop that off. And then there's just 2 bolts. And then I think that's it. The whole thing flies out of here. So should be pretty simple. Literally removing this took like 3 minutes, so super fast. Just those 2 bolts up top, and then you've got 4 bolts. What? One here, same on this side, one here. So just 4 and then 4, and they're all 7mm. So you just need a 7mm, boom, 6 bolts. You know, get that little thing out of there with a little pick tool, easy peasy, man. So 2 connectors on the back that just come off by hand. And then I'm also going to replace the bulbs. So these are 194, I think they're T10 also, but these are like kind of a blue LED. So that should be cool. And then now we just got to blow off however many of these screws there are, 6 or 7 or 8. These really tiny, or it looks like a Torx bit. So I was reading the directions, and actually it wants us to install these gauges in the car, like so they're plugged in, that way you can use the lighting, the backlighting, to be able to actually see if the gauge is in the right position. Otherwise, I guess it's gonna be a little bit hard. So we might do that, but first I figured let's replace the bulbs, right? So I've replaced a couple. So these things, there's just these 4, right? And you just pop them out like that. It's a little bit hard to get out, don't worry, they'll come right out. And then I got these little fancy LED ones, you know, off Amazon that I think a 10-pack was 10 bucks or something like that, but I'll put the link down below. But they're supposed to be like super bright, high lumens, you know, all that good stuff. So hopefully they are. And we'll toss this thing back in there if these come out. So actually we're doing a little bit of improvisation here, so I just didn't want to put it back in the car. So I've got this little setup here, got my light underneath, and then I can just move this around as we put in the different parts and get our gauges all installed. All right, so pretty simple install. Just a little drop of water in a bottle, put it on the back of the gauges, that way you can move them, replace them and stuff. Turned out pretty good. I shouldn't have did the freaking, I did this one first, and I think it's not quite perfect, but all these other ones look spot on. So pretty stoked. I think it's gonna be just fine. And we got our light bulbs already done, replaced. So this thing's ready to go back in there. All right, here we go. So our gauges are all installed. We got the lights on right here, so lights look cool. Dim them up. It's gonna be so much better than the stock incandescent bulbs and the green. So the only thing we'll have to tackle now, like our radio, I can make this blue also, but we're still gonna have the clock. And is there lights in here? There might be lights behind here too, but so I'll have to eventually pull this out. Whoop. Replace those, and then we'll have to do something with that clock. Look, it's not even working. It only works like half the time. But yeah, pretty stoked. All right, and our parts from UPR just got delivered, so now we can get those installed. So what I ended up picking up is this UPR bullet shifter bezel ring. So I had to get this off Amazon because that was like the cheapest place. It was 20 bucks on Amazon, or I'm sorry, on eBay. And then this little guy, same thing, had to get it on eBay because, anywhere else like Amazon, it was just way expensive. Same thing, 20 bucks. So 40 bucks for both of these guys, both from UPR, both on eBay. So should be pretty easy. I think this just snaps in, and then this thing, we're just gonna slide on, and then it's got a little hex key to be able to install it. So it should be really, really easy. So the install for these two things, super easy. This thing's really nice actually. Nice, good weight to it. So literally, it just screws on. There's just a little Allen head bolt right there on the bottom. So you just tighten that thing in there. The way I got, and you can adjust it different ways. I got mine where this headlight thing's kind of like crooked, but if you go like that, that's how it'd be straight. So you can do it however you want. If this is like where you like to roll, you could put it on that way. So I kind of keep mine full blast. And then this thing just pops on. So it seems, I think I got it all the way. It's kind of tough to tell. It seems like it's maybe not popped in right here, but I pushed pretty dang hard. So I don't know, I think it's all right. So I'm just gonna leave it, see how it works, but definitely looks cool, dresses the interior up a little bit. So pretty nice for, 40 bucks. I do want to get the knobs for these too. They make, I don't know if it's UPR, I think it was bunch of different companies, but there's a bunch of different versions on eBay. And so I just didn't buy those yet because it was like $40 for the ones I wanted. So I'll just wait and get those. But yeah, I think that'll look sweet, dress it up a little bit nicer. I mean, you can get crazy. You can get all this stuff, billet, you can get this billet, if you really wanted to. But I also like these UPR products because it's not like a super shiny, like billet color. It's just kind of like a brushed. So it's a little bit more muted. It's not, real shiny. So I kind of like that. So yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. And just kind of another view here from, if you're walking by the car, right? Just kind of check it out. So pretty cool. All right, so one other update is we did go to the Ford, or I guess I should say Motor City Foxfest this past weekend. And it was a pretty good turnout, but we ended up, we only had a few hours without rain. And then I think it rained from like, 1 to 5, or 12, even earlier, 12 to 5. So we only had a few good hours in the morning, and that really killed the whole turnout. You could see like the guys had planned like to have the entire parking lot, this huge parking lot filled up at Ford World headquarters, and it was maybe half that, if even. And then a lot of guys ended up leaving early, as soon as the rain started coming in. So that was a dang shame, but we did have the Hellstang over at the Stifflers booth. That was freaking awesome. So a lot of people got to see the car over at the booth. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this one. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll catch you boys on the next one.
Took the restrictor plate off, give the Red Dragon a little more juice. But let's keep that on the down low. It's not exactly street legal.